Now on News 6, another push to help improve safety in downtown Orlando, where new cameras could be put in and who's covering the costs. Plus, scammers covering up real QR codes with fake ones.
Public places are an obvious and easy place for people to target.
The best ways you can protect your phone and information. And Trooper Steve is breaking down everything to expect on the roads today. This is News 6 Mornings.
Hey, good morning on your Monday at 7 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
I'm Justin Mormouth. There he is, Trooper Steve.
What's up, guys?
Breaking down the roads.
Good morning.
Tune in for that. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
First, meteorologist Julie Broughton has your forecast. She's in for Candace. Going to be rather warm this afternoon, Julie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yesterday, if you were outside at all, you know that it really did not feel so nice. That is what we're in for again this afternoon. But before we get to that, let's just take a moment to admire this. Isn't that lovely? Daytona Beach sky cam.
Nice little breath.
Yes,
of fresh air there.
yes, very zen view for us. So pretty there. 74 degrees right now with light winds coming in out of the south. And most of us are in that temperature range right now as you are stepping out the door here at 7:01. It is 76 in DeLand, 73 in Ocala. If you're waking up with us in Wildwood, good morning to you. It is 72 degrees and 76 in both Melbourne and in Mico. Satellite and radar imagery not finding any showers. Very little cloud cover out there. So we'll see a nice amount of sunshine, certainly for the first part of the day, and that will heat us up quickly. Now, if you are planning to head out to the beach today, we'll go into the low 90s even at the coast. Water temperature 81 degrees. We are looking at an elevated threat of rip currents, so do make sure that you swim near a lifeguard if you are planning to head out to the beach. And then we'll see those showers and storms moving in by the middle part of the afternoon. I'll time all of that out for you hour by hour coming up in just a few minutes. But first, let's check out the roads with Trooper Steve.
Roads are doing good this morning. 7:01 on a Monday. Your drive times, 26 minutes, Champions Gate to downtown Orlando, which is really, really good. Please get out there, drive safely. We're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown out by Cayley, which is just giving a little bit of a slowdown there in the curvature of the roadway. Westbound, John Young to 27, you're clear. You're out of here. Lake Mary to Maitland, 9 minutes, and then 9 minutes from 434 to downtown. 417 still looking nice this morning. I moved it a little further south of Boggy Creek. This is over by the Landstar area. Look at this, nice and clear. Express lanes non-existent out here. Got you for a second. Things looking good even on the north and southbound lanes of Landstar Boulevard. Where are we? Out by Moss Park. Lake Nona, all clear. Gets back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. Facing 2 felonies, suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez remains behind bars at this hour. The sheriff, who was arrested last week on racketeering charges, is accused of being part of a criminal gambling operation in Osceola and Lake counties. News 6's Angie Casada is live at the Lake County Jail. And Angie, the sheriff will not only need to come up with the money for his bond if he wants to be released, he'll have to prove the money is clean.
Hey, good morning, Crystal. That's right. We're here at that door at the Lake County Jail that has been the same spot where cameras have been camped out all weekend, waiting to see if Lopez makes bond. And I've been monitoring it all morning, checking, and still at this very moment, that bond still hasn't been posted. The suspended sheriff is accused of helping run a multi-million-dollar illegal gambling business in Kissimmee, even while serving as the county sheriff. A judge set Lopez's bond at $1 million Friday. But Lopez can't pay it without first proving the money isn't from illegal activities, something that is common when charged with racketeering.
Could you tell me your name, please?
Marcos R. Lopez.
Prosecutors say Lopez took in hundreds of thousands of dollars in kickbacks. Now they want to make sure that's not what he's using to get out of jail.
To detail an extreme breach of public trust, the circumstances surrounding his misuse of office as the sheriff of Osceola County are very serious.
According to jail records, his bond status remains unfulfilled. Now, one of Lopez's co-defendants, Carol Coate, is already out on a $100,000 bond. Lopez and Sharon Frederick remain locked up this morning. Reporting live in Lake County, Angie Casada, News 6.
Thank you, Angie. Breaking overnight, a travel ban for 12 countries is now officially in effect. The ban mostly affects travelers from countries in Africa and the Middle East, including Afghanistan, Iran, and Yemen. Haiti is also included in the ban, and this weekend many people rushed to get into the U.S. ahead of the ban. Travelers were seen coming to Miami International Airport, where there is a large Haitian community down in South Florida. The first Haitian-American Democrat elected to Congress, Congresswoman Sheila Cherfulis McCormick, calls the ban on Haiti disturbing.
I think it's misinformation. Like I said, there's no data to substantiate that Haitian people have ever been a national security risk, ever. We have some countries who are on the partial list, and they determine the entire country to be a terrorist country, such as Cuba, whereas Haiti only has Port-au-Prince, which is a small section that has 80% of gangs, and now you're trying to demonize all the people who are there.
Meanwhile, in Orange County, Mayor Jerry Deming says he doesn't expect President Trump's travel ban to affect Orlando's tourism, at least for now.
In Volusia County, a man is in jail accused of making online threats against the president and other world leaders. Sheldon Biddle faces federal charges for making threats against President Trump, Elon Musk, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and others. The threats were made on the social media app X. We're learning this is not the first time that he's been arrested for making threats. On April 11th, Biddle was arrested by Ormond Beach police on a state charge of making written threats. He spent 2 days in jail before bonding out. This time, he's being held without bond.
A fire that killed 9 dogs in Seminole County has been ruled accidental. And the fire, which broke out in a shed behind a home near Altamont Springs, has been ruled electrical in nature. A kennel was attached to the shed, and inside that kennel, 9 dogs who all died in the fire.
I feel bad. I hate to see, I don't like to see animals abused or lose their lives or anything like that. So I felt bad.
The fire was so intense that neighbors reported their fences got scorched by the flames.
This week marks 9 years since the Pulse nightclub shooting, and to remember the 49 lives lost, Central Florida will hold a series of events, and those events include today's Prayer Ribbons Memorial. The prayer ribbons will be displayed outside Orlando City Hall. This is video from last year's event. The ribbons were initially made in Massachusetts to remember lives lost to HIV/AIDS, but after the tragedy in Orlando, they were repurposed for the victims killed in the attack. The event gets underway at 9 a.m. And for the first time since the mass shooting, victims' families and survivors, they'll be able to go inside the Pulse nightclub. The first site tour is Wednesday, with more throughout the week. About 120 people will be allowed in. The FBI will also be there to talk with families, along with clergy members and mental health professionals. The nightclub will be demolished later this year to make way for a memorial.
This morning, a bicyclist is dead, and state troopers are now working to locate a black Honda Accord. So this happened around midnight at the intersection of Pleasant Hill and Sun Cove, just west of Lake Toho. A bicyclist was hit in the middle of the intersection and then was hit by a second car. The second driver stayed on scene. The first car fled. So if you have any information about the driver or the black Honda Accord, you're asked to call FHP at star 347. This morning, Orlando police are asking for help locating a missing man. Take a look at your screen right now. This is 65-year-old Jose Camacho. He was last seen around 9 o'clock Sunday morning near Perkinshire Lane. He was wearing a green shirt, a maroon hat, and black shoes. Police say he suffers from a cognitive condition that may affect his ability to return home. If you see him, you're asked to call the Orlando Police Department immediately.
Well, traffic in Central Florida is bad. You don't need me to tell you that, right? But new this morning, we now have the numbers to prove it. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez is live. And Stephanie, you found we can actually put a dollar amount on what this traffic is costing each of us a year.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Orlando and the Central Florida area is top 40 when it comes to traffic. You might be asking, well, what does that mean? Well, we asked drivers, and they're going to help us figure it out.
Tell me just what you think about traffic here in Central Florida.
I've been to a lot of different places in the country. I've driven on I-4, driven on the 4 over in California and the Beltway. We have maybe the worst traffic that exists in the country.
It's hard to find a Central Floridian who hasn't been frustrated because of traffic.
I feel like it's worse than New York at this point, and I'm from there. So, yeah, I think that the traffic here is really bad.
While some may think it's an exaggeration, a 2024 traffic report that looked at over 900 cities in 36 countries found that Orlando ranks 263rd for congestion worldwide and 38th in the U.S. The report finds that annually drivers lose an average of 27 hours stuck in traffic. And as the saying goes, time is money. It found that the cost of congestion is $483 per driver per year.
I mean, I probably lose about 2 hours a day. I work from people's homes with appointments that we set. So there's plenty of appointments that I can't get to because of the miserable traffic that we deal with, and that's money out of my pocket.
So you lose over a day on average if you're driving here. What does that make you feel like?
That feels like we work hard for our money, and like it's just we're spending it mostly on gas and, you know, bills and AC, and it's not right.
So it'll probably come as a little surprise to anyone who's driven here in Central Florida that the report by a company called unrest found that the worst stretch of road in I-4 in Central Florida for traffic is I-4 by Champions Gate. We know that the state is fixing it to make it better, so hopefully it will help. Reporting live in Orlando, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Thanks, Stephanie. We're already getting some results there. They've extended that stretch, so we're not seeing as much traffic, so that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Stephanie. And all I can think of after seeing that story is, we work hard for the money.
Beautiful. I'm impressed.
I never thought about how much time we spend in a car in traffic.
Oh, yeah.
And converting that to dollars.
Absolutely. It all adds up, doesn't it? Now, as we move through the day today, we are going to heat things up quickly. We're starting out the day mild and muggy, most of us in the low to mid 70s right now. But by 1 o'clock, we will already climb into the 90s, 95 for our high today. Rain chances will be a little bit higher than we saw over the weekend, up to about 40% as we move into the afternoon hours. Factoring the relative humidity, it's going to feel like the low 100s. So if you can hop in a pool today, it should feel really nice out there. Satellite and radar imagery for you right now showing we are dry as we start out our Monday, starting out our work week. We are seeing mostly clear skies just about everywhere. If you're up in Reddick, you're at 72 degrees, 75 in Lake Weir right now. Heading down to Deer Park, you're at 78 degrees, and it is 74 in Hullapaw. Coming up in just a few minutes, we will time out today's showers for you hour by hour and let you know when that chance of rain goes up, and also take a look at the tropics. But first, let's head to Trooper Steve with a check of the roads.
Thanks, Julie. Found out this disabled vehicle on the side of 417 northbound, right around the 3-ish mile marker. You'll clear Celebration, headed northbound, right there by the toll on the right-hand side of the road. No flashers on that Tesla, just hanging out. So just give it some room as you bypass that. The rest of us looking pretty good. St. Cloud, good morning to you. You're on 192 east or westbound, anywhere in Osceola County right now. Pretty much up to speed. We won't see those normal hot spots that we see without school going on. And then southern portions of St. Cloud, you guys are looking good as well. Neptune, US 192, nice and smooth. But I am picking up, oh, that went away fast. I was picking up a delay along Pleasant Hill. Look at that, 7:12 in the morning. It's all yours. Guys, back to you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Steve. Coming up, summer travel ramping up.
And so is a lot of misinformation about the new real IDs. Up next, the one bizarre item TSA is now warning you cannot use as identification.
First, though, convenient but dangerous. A look at how much of your information is at risk when you scan a QR code. You're watching News 6 Mornings. We'll be right back. Last week, we told you 200 fake QR code stickers were discovered on parking meters in downtown Orlando.
Quick response codes, better known as QR codes, they're everywhere. You've probably seen them. But scanning the wrong one could be costly. Investigator Lewis Bolden has this week's schemes and ripoffs alert.
QR codes are convenient to use, but that convenience can come with a price.
They can be misused. They can absolutely be misused.
How are they being misused?
Lots of different ways.
Rob Allen is the Chief Product Officer for ThreatLocker.
Public places are an obvious and easy place for people to target.
The FTC has warned scammers hide links and QR codes to steal your information. There have been reports of bad guys replacing QR codes with a QR code of their own on parking meters. A scammer's QR code could take you to a spoofed site that looks real but isn't, and scammers could steal any information you enter. Or it could install malware to your device that steals your information before you realize it.
So I would say anything you see in a public place, whether it be a restaurant or paying for parking or anything like that, I would just assume don't use it.
Or at the very least, inspect the website thoroughly for things like misspellings. Also, be careful of QR codes in text messages and emails. The FTC says don't scan a code in an email or text you weren't expecting, especially if it urges you to act quickly. And protect your phone and accounts by updating your phone's operating system and protecting accounts with strong passwords and multi-factor authentication. Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at theinvestigators@WKMG.com. I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
Got to be careful out there, be vigilant. So I can't believe I have to say this, but no, your Costco card cannot be used as ID.
Here's the thing, that is a warning, and yes, a real warning, and it comes from the TSA as summer travel heats up. Enough people have tried to do this, obviously, so despite rumors on social media, the TSA says trying to use a Costco card or any other membership card for that matter will only lead to delays and travel headaches. So last month, of course, they started enforcing the requirement for real IDs and other acceptable forms of identification. Those accepted include passports, border crossing and permanent resident cards. Not a Costco membership card, though.
If you try this, you're going to miss your flight.
Yes, you are.
Can you imagine using your Costco card?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, a day off work could set you back hundreds or thousands of dollars. But right now, a piece from the iconic 1986 film Ferris Bueller's Day Off is on the auction block. Take a look. This signature sweater vest worn by Matthew Broderick in the film is expected to sell for anywhere between $300,000 and $600,000. At this hour, the top bid stands at around $130,000. Sotheby's auction runs through June 24th. So if you got some money, maybe you weren't sitting in traffic and saved up that cash.
I'd not be spending it on that.
No.
You can get that vest.
I mean, he looks good with
I'm
it
sure he looks great.
in the movie.
Yeah.
In the movie,
I
like,
can't
it fits his
remember where is
personality.
what part is he wearing that in?
I don't
It
remember.
happens a few times.
Yeah, like you see
Okay.
him. He rocks it over, you know, a little vest action. Love a good vest.
I can't
It's
pull
going to come
that
back in
stuff.
style.
Everything does.
I'm pretty sure you could find a similar vest at like Marshall's or something for $25.
Or the thrift, the thrift store.
Thrift store. Yeah, you can make your own.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to start doing later today.
Okay.
Yeah, because it'll be too hot to be outside.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, knit your sweater vest for
Stay indoors.
when we get that cool down
The
for
knitting
5 minutes
forecast.
in December. Here's what we're tracking as we move through your Monday. Expect temperatures climbing into the mid-90s. It will feel like the low 100s once again today. We'll still be tracking a few isolated scattered showers later this afternoon. Now, we are still dealing with some Saharan dust that is impacting our air quality. And as we talk about the tropics, is moving into our second week of hurricane season, no issues in the tropics. Here's a look at that Saharan dust. We're seeing mainly light Saharan dust across central Florida right now. That plume lifts out of here, so things will really improve for us late today into tomorrow. But then moving into the weekend, we'll be watching another area of dust coming across the Atlantic that could be impacting us as we move into next weekend. So if you have asthma or any sort of respiratory issues, we are looking at air quality right now in the moderate range, and that will be the case for us throughout the afternoon. Here's what it looks like for you right now as we take a live look from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Together camera over downtown Orlando. Looking a little hazy out there. 75 degrees right now with our winds coming in out of the south-southwest at 5 miles per hour. It is 76 in DeLand. If you're in Leesburg, you're checking in at 76 as well. 76 in Micco, and it is 74 degrees in Palm Coast. Here is your hour-by-hour forecast. You can go ahead and plan your day. This is Pearl. She's my sister's foster kitten. She has 4 foster kittens right now. 80 degrees at 9 o'clock, 84 degrees by 10 o'clock, and by 11 o'clock, we will be at 87 degrees, so we're really going to heat up quickly. We'll be dry for the first part of the day, but those showers move in later this afternoon. Satellite and radar imagery showing no rain to track for us out there right now. Here's how the modeling looks as we take you through the morning into the afternoon hours. We stop the clock at noon. Most of us will still be dry around lunchtime, then take you into 4 o'clock. That's when we start to see some additional showers developing. Looks like we'll see a late sea breeze collision today. So by 8 o'clock, we'll see some of those storms intensifying a little bit. Still, even we could be looking at some pockets of heavy rain into the late evening hours around 11 o'clock or so before everything moves out by midnight, then leaving us with partly cloudy skies overnight. Tomorrow, I think the rain chance goes up and we'll see the showers starting a little bit earlier. Here's what it will look like tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. So today looks to be the drier day of the week. Here's what it looks like for you outside or in the tropics right now. National Hurricane Center not highlighting any areas for us to be concerned about. So we are in good shape as far as tropical development. Your afternoon high for today, 95 in Orlando, 95 in Ocala. It will feel like the low 100s. 7-day forecast keeps rain chances for today at 40%, going up to 50% tomorrow, and then 60% by Wednesday. Now let's head to Trooper Steve with a check of the roads.
We're really starting our week off very nicely when it comes to traffic. Please don't go out there and ruin it. Leave with some time. Make sure the coffee top is tight so you're not spilling that in there. I-4, east and westbound, both your main line, east and westbound, and your express lanes looking good. That was I-4 right there in downtown Orlando, just west of 408. 408 looking good too if you're coming in from maybe Waterford Lakes this morning out on the east side, or even Pine Hills out on the west side, no issues. North and southbound along Kirkman if you're headed towards the Turnpike, the attractions area, nice and clear, even though it is open on the south end towards Epic Universe. Keep in mind, a lot of construction out there towards Carrier. Just make sure you're paying attention. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. A little lipstick, a lot of impact.
Up next, how a local mother-daughter duo is putting power into the hands of domestic violence survivors, one shade at a time.
Plus, growing unrest in California as protesters clash with National Guard troops. At the bottom of the hour, the battle spilling onto the streets of L.A.
An urgent recall to toss out 3 items that could be in your medicine cabinet. New Jersey-based company Church & Dwight is voluntarily recalling its Zicam Cold Remedy nasal swabs, the Zicam Nasal All Clear swabs, and its Oragel Baby teething swabs. Swabs may be contaminated with a fungi, and if used, you could suffer a serious life-threatening blood infection. The company is recommending anyone with the nasal or teething swabs to either throw them out or go to the store where they were purchased and get a refund.
A health warning this morning. Skincare routines being promoted to teens on TikTok can be harmful. A new study found girls ages 7 to 18 are using an average of 6 different products on their faces, spending an average of $168 a month. They got it like that age? Okay.
7? I mean, 7 years old? That's
7
crazy.
years old. The top video products marketed to teens by some TikTok influencers have an average of 11 ingredients that potentially cause skin irritation. Wow. Would your parents get you $168 worth of skin products at that
Absolutely
age?
not. I don't think I moisturized my face until I was in college. So, yeah, absolutely not. Well, right now, a local mother-daughter duo is doing their part to change the lives of domestic violence survivors.
Yeah, they're making the change with shades of lipstick. On a Sunday morning in Longwood, Florida, these volunteers are packing up lipstick to help lift up survivors of domestic violence. Lipsticks are sent to more than 300 women's domestic violence shelters in all 50 states. Cheryl Curlin founded the nonprofit Find Your Fabulosity with her 93-year-old mother, Betty Ann Leiter, collecting brand new lipsticks from cosmetic companies and private donors for women in terrible circumstances. Curlin was inspired while teaching workshops at a local women's shelter.
And it just it came to me.
I said, Cheryl, put on a little lipstick, you'll feel better. And she never forgot that.
It was that little thing that could just make me feel better. And the bracelet, it was like somebody giving you a hug. Like, you got
Something as simple as lipstick making that type of an impact, incredible. Find Your Fabulosity has distributed 110,000 lipsticks and counting to shelters nationwide.
Bravo to them. Keep it going. Well, could it be time for a career change?
New this morning, the study revealing the top job titles causing depression, plus an extra layer of security. Still to come, the new plan commissioners in Orlando are pushing for and how much it could cost you.
And still waiting for the moment, suspended Sheriff Marcos Lopez could walk out of jail. An update next.
Streaming on ClickOrlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Julie Broughton. I hope you're having a great Monday. Here's how it looks as we start things out on your Light Orlando Delivering Hope Together camera over downtown Orlando. We're seeing partly cloudy skies. Your out the door temperatures are generally in the mid 70s. We are sitting at 75 in Orlando, 77 in DeLand, and it is 76 degrees right now in Claremont. Here's how it looks as we move through the rest of the day. Our high today by 4 o'clock hits 95. It will feel like the low 100s. Rain chances for today are 40%. Now let's head to Trooper Steve with a check of the roads.
Thank you, Julie. Right now, downtown Orlando still looking good. I-4 east and westbound. There is a report of a crash along Orange Blossom Trail close to Holden. I'm not picking up a delay just yet, but we know a lot of pedestrian traffic out here, so please make sure you're paying attention. 429 out on the west side. You are all clear north and southbound approaching the turnpike. The news continues next. Remember, get updates on our big stories anytime over at clickorlando.com.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
The time is now 7:30 on your Monday.
Let's get a check of our top stories. Suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez remains in jail this morning. A judge set bond at $1 million Friday after his arrest on racketeering charges. But before he can get out, he has to prove his bond money isn't tied to the illegal gambling operation he's accused of being part of.
Seminole County firefighters think an electrical problem sparked a fire that killed 9 dogs. They were being kept in a kennel outside of a home along Broadway Street.
And breaking overnight, President Trump's new travel ban officially went into effect. It includes an all-out ban from 12 countries, including Haiti, with a partial ban on another 7 nations.
Turning now to the weather, we scaled back on the storms a bit over the weekend. And what does that mean right now? We are going to be feeling the heat.
Let's get a check of that forecast on this Monday with meteorologist Julie Broughton. She's in for Candace.
We are seeing a nice, beautiful shot over downtown Orlando as we're stepping out the door on our Monday. This is our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Together camera, where we are sitting at 75 degrees. Little on the hazy side right now, but some of that Saharan dust will actually begin to move out for us later today, although it is affecting our air quality as we move through the first part of our day. So we're in the moderate range right now. If you're in Leesburg, you're starting the day at 76 degrees. It is 72 right now in Ocala, 75 in Cocoa Beach, and you are also at 75 degrees in Titusville. Now we're going to heat things up today, so it will be a great day to enjoy the pool if you can. 95 degrees for our high by 3 o'clock. Factor in the relative humidity. It will feel like the low 100s, and by late this afternoon, our chance of rain goes up to 40%. We are going to bump it up as we move through the work week. We'll talk more about that coming up with your 7-day forecast. But first, let's head to Trooper Steve with a check of the roads.
I actually touched the pool yesterday and I was like, oh, this
Did it feel
rain
nice?
has kind of warmed it up a little bit out there for us. So things still looking good out here this morning. 7:32 in the morning on a Monday. Listen, if you're going to think about anything positive, think the roadways are nice and clear this morning. So don't be the one to mess it up. The rest of us are doing nice. 429 south of the turnpike, even State Road 50 over by Oakland. If you're headed eastbound, approaching the Winter Garden Ocoee area, take it easy. A lot of pedestrian traffic along State Road 50 out there, but things nice and smooth as of right now. I'm not picking up any crashes or delays that are going to bother you. Are there crashes out there? Yes, but they're not blocking anything. They're sitting in a parking lot. You just drive safely. Howie in the Hills, nice and clear. You're clear southbound through Astatula as you approach US 27 with no delays. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. This morning, we're waiting to see just when suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez could bond out of jail. We were there on Friday when a judge set a $1 million bond for Lopez after his arrest on racketeering charges, but there are even more conditions that have to be met before he can walk free. News 6's Angie Casada following the latest live from the jail this morning. And what do we know about when he could walk free, Angie?
Yeah, Justin, just like you said, he has $1 million bond, Lopez does. But the biggest thing is, even if he has the money, he has to prove that that money is legitimate. And so far, that hasn't happened yet. Prosecutors say Lopez secretly helped run this Kissimmee casino called the Eclipse Social Club, a place that operated as an illegal gambling hub while he was in office. Videos from social media show slot machines and flashing lights. Prosecutors say Lopez profited off the business, using his position to shield it. In the meantime, people around town are reacting.
I just don't feel like he's ever put the citizens first, and it's just been about him and his friends and not about our county. And if he's found guilty, that kind of proves
what I thought.
The club, which reportedly brought in more than $21 million, was raided this spring. But court documents say Lopez's involvement goes back to 2019.
And this morning, of course, we're still waiting to see if and when Lopez will bond out. Of course, we'll continue monitoring this jail door behind me. And of course, we'll bring you any updates over here on clickorlando.com and at 12. Reporting in Lake County, Angie Casada, U6.
All right, Angie, keep us posted. Thank you. And as Angie mentioned, if we get any updates on this, we're going to post them first on clickorlando.com. And you can also go in depth on the allegations against Lopez and the other players in this case. Just look for the story right on the homepage. This morning, we're waiting for the Orange County Sheriff's Office to tell us the names of not one, but two men shot by deputies just hours apart this weekend.
Yeah, and one of them did not survive. The first shooting happened Saturday morning behind the Save Discount store on North Hiawassee Road. A deputy was trying to talk to a man when investigators say he went on the attack, forcing the deputy to the ground and started punching him in the face at least 20 times. The deputy shot him when they say he tried to reach for a gun that fell out of his bag. The man in that case survived, but it was a different story hours later when deputies responded to a home on North Ortman Drive. That's near the 408 and Old Winter Garden Road. In that case, the deputies say they were trying to talk to a schizophrenic man who was acting erratically when he came after them with a knife, stabbing one deputy before being shot several times and killed.
I've been doing this for 34 years, and I don't think we ever had, two deputy involved or two officer involved shootings in one day. But it just goes to show you that people are more willing today, I think, based on my experience, to use violence against the police.
Both deputies who were attacked are expected to be all right. Both shootings will be investigated by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, which is standard procedure.
Happening today, an extra layer of security could soon be on the way to downtown Orlando. Commissioners set to sign off on adding license plate readers at parking garages. It's the latest in what's been a series of changes to try and keep people safe. But as News 6's Mark Lehman shows us, it does come with a big price tag.
All right, it looks like we have some technical difficulties there. We'll try to bring that story back up in just a moment, but it is on clickorlando.com as well. Meantime, new this morning, hundreds of people are now pushing back against another idea to improve safety in downtown Orlando. As we told you last month, some are suggesting bars and other late night clubs be forced to stop serving alcohol at midnight to try and curb crime. Well, there's now a change.org petition asking the city council to reject that idea. And so far, it's got over 1,000 signatures. Organizers are calling the proposal an attack on the heart and soul of the city and its economy. They're urging people to leave comments before this afternoon's meeting.
We're expecting to hear from the superintendent of schools in Sumter County today after an investigation found years of misconduct and falsified data. According to the State Department of Education, the former superintendent and others created so-called shell schools, then moved low-performing students out of real schools to make the district's numbers look better. The practice apparently started all the way back in 2016. The current superintendent, Logan Brown, called the practice deceptive, unethical, and a betrayal of public trust. He is set to talk to the media later on this morning.
The next crewed rocket launch from our coast is now just over a day away. Yesterday, the crew of Axiom 4 carried out a full rehearsal for launch day. This is Axiom's fourth all-private astronaut mission, which is set to spend up to 2 weeks orbiting the Earth at the International Space Station. The crew will get there on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. Liftoff is currently set for 8:22 tomorrow morning, and if it happens, we'll bring it to you live. And let's get over to meteorologist Julie Broughton, because many families, it is summer, might be out there tomorrow morning to see that launch. How's the weather going to fare out?
Yes, it's always so great to get to see a launch in person, and I think we'll be in good shape as far as the weather goes. In fact, we're looking at a 90% chance that the weather will cooperate tomorrow. So if you are planning to head out, you can expect the upper 70s there at 8:22 with light winds coming in out of the south. The only weather-related issue could be on that Ascent Corridor recovery. That is where they could be dealing with some gusty winds and some showers. So if there are weather-related issues, it will not be here in Central Florida. Here's what it looks like for you right now in Brevard County. This is a beautiful shot from our Launch Credit Union camera there at Port Canaveral, where right now we're sitting at 76 degrees with light winds. Now we are dealing with some air quality issues because we still have a light layer of Sahara Sub-Saharan air over us. That will begin moving out, so that dust will start to clear out for us by later this afternoon. So that will improve for us as we head through the week, I think. Here's what it looks like for you right now in downtown Orlando. Our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Together camera, where we are sitting in the mid-70s with our winds coming in out of the south-southwest at 5 miles per hour. We are going to heat things up quickly again today. It will feel like the triple digits later this afternoon, and we will be tracking a more widespread chance of showers and storms than we saw yesterday. We will time all of that out for you hour by hour and take a look ahead to the next 7 days coming up in just a few minutes. But first, let's head to Trooper Steve with a check of the roads.
DOT cam showing westbound lanes of I-4 out there close to 46 looking a little slow this morning. So take it nice and easy. Increase that following distance eastbound if you're headed towards Volusia. You're fine. No issues. 46, 46-8, nice and clear. A little bit of a westbound over at Lake Mary, so just be cautious. Again, no crash. That's the way we like it. East and westbound on Maitland, south of Apopka there, nice and smooth this morning. A little bit of slowdown as you approach the Rose Avenue and Orange Blossom Trail, but that's a routine slowdown. And then you're clear as you travel eastbound over I-4 and then all the way north on the Turnpike up by Wildwood. Checking out nicely. Last Friday, we ended the week great because I had Ginger Gadsden inside Results One. We hung out for like a half hour, talked forever about everything. Head to clickorlando.com and you can check that out. Today, I'm going to cruise along 436 outside of the Altamont Mall. A lot of construction going on out there. I try to avoid it as much as possible, but we got Results One. So join me at 10 a.m. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Steve. A potential big business boost coming to one part of Seminole County.
Still ahead, what the governor just approved that could be a game changer for the city of Oviedo. Plus,
our community is living in a state of terror.
Protests over illegal immigration raids lead to chaos in California, why the state's governor is now threatening to take President Trump to court.
developing this morning, President Trump says he's prepared to deploy more troops to Los Angeles, all because of this growing clashes over the crackdown on illegal immigration. This all began ramping up on Friday when immigration officials stepped up raids in the area. Cars were set on fire, fireworks were even thrown at police. The president bypassed Governor Gavin Newsom and deployed at least 2,000 National Guard troops to restore order. But Newsom and his administration are calling on the president to pull those troops back, saying the move was, quote, purposefully inflammatory.
He did not have the authority to call in the National Guard for 400 people protesting in a way that local law enforcement could clearly handle it.
There was a lot of violence and it could have gotten much worse. And you have an incompetent governor.
Newsom is reportedly considering suing Trump over the deployment.
Happening today to the round of trade talks scheduled between the U.S. and China. As it stands now, both countries are in a 90-day tariff de-escalation. That means U.S. duties on Chinese imports are at 30% instead of 145%. China's rate is down to 10% from 125%, and there is hope a permanent agreement may not be far off.
I'm very comfortable that this deal is about to be closed.
Today's talks in London follow a call between President Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping on Thursday. And it appears the ongoing worries over tariffs not having a big impact on gas prices. New numbers from AAA overnight show the average for a gallon of regular in the state is $3.09. That's the same price as last week. The Auto Club says overall prices remain in the same 30-cent range. It's fluctuated up and down since September. Well, happening today, an extra layer of security could soon be on the way to downtown Orlando. Commissioners set to sign off on adding license plate readers at parking garages. It's the latest in what's been a series of changes to try and keep people safe. But as News 6's Mark Lehman shows us, it comes with a big price tag.
Orlando has rolled out different rules in response to recent shootings that have happened in downtown. Now police want to be able to monitor who goes in and out of parking garages. They would do so by installing license plate reader cameras here at the entrance and exit points. The city says this would be their latest public safety enhancement project.
It's a tool that could be key in helping officers catch criminals in downtown Orlando. Today, city leaders are voting to spend $150,000 to put license plate readers in some parking garages.
What do you think of that idea of adding license plate readers to the garages?
I think it'll improve safety.
Abby Inn lives in downtown and says the installments could add a much-needed layer of protection. The project would be a joint team-up between Orlando Police and the city's parking division.
If there's more cameras, they would be less likely to go and commit those crimes.
The proposal also comes just a few weeks after the council got an update on downtown safety. Shootings in recent years led to an after-midnight alcohol sales permit program, and Orange Avenue was reopened to traffic on weekend nights.
On busier nights, you'll see a lot of police traffic out, monitoring, seeing what's going on, just to make sure that everyone is safe.
Mike Inderis says he's seen an improvement in safety and supports the idea of cameras if they're used for that purpose.
We'll be able to identify the person and we have a record of the license plate.
If the cameras are approved, funding would be split between Orlando Police and the city's parking division. All of this will be decided by commissioners during their meeting at 2 this afternoon. For now, reporting in Orlando, Mark Lehman, News 6.
All right, we'll see what happens there. New this morning, Governor DeSantis has signed a bill that could give a boost to some businesses in Oviedo. We first told you about the proposal back in March. It sets up a special arts and entertainment district and allows the city to issue specialty permits so people can purchase alcoholic drinks and walk around with them. That's expected to be big for places like Oviedo on the Park that you see there. The new law takes effect immediately, but the city does still need to set up some specific guidelines to make that happen. Well, remember that zebra that was on the run for days in Tennessee?
Hard to forget. New this morning, though, we now know that zebra's been captured, and boy, did he get a ride home in style.
Look at him.
Look at him up there. It turns out a special team from Texas was actually brought in and found the zebra yesterday in a pasture. They dropped the net on him, airlifted him out of the area. So the zebra, who's been given the name Ed, originally arrived back on May 30th and then vanished that very next day. We're told he was checked out by a vet and is 100% healthy. So good news there.
2 months on the run.
No, not 2 months.
2 days.
April, May?
No, May 30th. Like it's only been like a week or less than that.
Yeah, you're right.
Like a week or so, week and a half.
I want this year to be over with.
It's moving rather quickly.
I was like, I'm thinking March, and then you're
December?
like, Justin's like,
no,
bro. No.
Not that long. I think they probably, if that thing was on the run for like 2.5 months, then we got big problems.
I think we should just let him be. Edward was ready to maybe come down to Florida. I don't know.
I don't
These
know.
hot temps.
I'd love to have a zebra in my townhome.
You definitely would.
That would be great.
Wouldn't it?
You would take such good care of it.
I
too.
would.
Jake would love having a friend that's near his side.
I know. We'd have such a beautiful life together. All right, here's your splash pad forecast for today. For starting out your work week, maybe you want to cool off today. You will certainly need it. We're talking about highs going into the mid-90s by 3 o'clock today. We will be tracking some showers and storms. Those move in during the late afternoon hours with our rain chances right around 40% for today. So if you're making those plans, just keep in mind you may run into some showers later this afternoon. Here's how it looks as we start things out for you in Daytona Beach. Really pretty shot there for you where we are checking in right now at at 74 degrees with partly cloudy skies. It is 76 right now in Sanford, 76 as well in Leesburg. If you're in Melbourne or Micco, you're at 76, and it is 75 degrees right now in Palm Coast. Now, we are looking at a major heat risk in parts of central Florida today, where you see those areas of red. So that means if you are sensitive to heat or you overheat easily, definitely want to take it easy outside, take a lot of breaks, drink a lot of water. I mean, do that regardless. Now, we will see the rain moving in later today. Best chance of rain really will be from about Sanford on south. If you're in areas like Ocala or the Villages, your rain chances are a little bit lower. But from Orlando to Kissimmee down toward Melbourne, we're looking at about a 40 to 50% chance of some of those afternoon storms. Satellite and radar for us right now showing we are seeing a nice quiet start to our Monday. In fact, the showers don't move in until later this afternoon. Even at noon, most of us are dry. The model's picking up on some very light rain around noon, but that's about it. By 4 o'clock, we'll continue to see our west coast sea breeze traveling across the peninsula. That will spark some pockets of heavier rain in Lake County, West Orange County, stretching over into Seminole and Volusia County. Even 6 o'clock, still looking at most of us dry. By 8 o'clock, we'll start to see some of those boundaries interacting, and we could see some pockets of heavier rain. But the rain chances will really begin to go up for us for tomorrow. So by your Tuesday, by 1 o'clock, that's when we're looking at much more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity compared to what we will see out there today. And then we'll bump that up even a little bit more as we head into our Wednesday. So we'll be getting back into that typical pattern where we're dry and we're sunny in the morning. Then we see those sea breeze driven storms in the afternoon. Quick check of the tropics for you as we start out our second week of hurricane season. Here's the Atlantic Basin. National Hurricane Center not highlighting any areas of concern for us. So we are in good shape as we move you through the afternoon hours in the Atlantic. Next 7 days looking quiet. Here's what you can expect for today. 95 for our high in Orlando, 95 in Ocala. It will feel like the triple digits. 7-day forecast, 40% chance of rain for today. We bump it up a little bit for tomorrow and then up to 60% on Wednesday. As the rain chances go down, afternoon highs go only in the low 90s. Steve, doesn't that sound refreshing?
It sounds so amazing.
Yes. Now let's get a check of the roads. The Trooper Steve.
Just want to get out there, smile, and stare up at the sky. No, I'm really excited. I did my yard yesterday. Got all the yard work done, so I didn't have to bear the heat at all this week. Listen, westbound right now, we are slow out at Lake Mary Boulevard. Just make sure you're paying attention. This is actually getting really heavy out there. No crash, no delay, and no lane closure. It's just that morning commute starting at about 8 o'clock in the morning. Apopka, good morning to you guys. Still looking good along Maitland. And then our big roadways, if you're headed in from Ocala this morning, I have no issues on I-75 or southbound on the turnpike at the start and then all the way south towards Orlando. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Well, this may be a loaded question, but could your job be setting you up for depression? What a new study just found about the occupations most at risk.
New this morning, a scary scene in Tennessee after a plane packed with skydivers crashes shortly after takeoff. This happened at a regional airport about 60 miles southeast of Nashville. We know all 20 people on board were hurt, with 4 people suffering serious injuries and having to be rushed to the hospital. So far, there's no word on just what went wrong, but the FAA has been called in to investigate.
In your Health Watch, a new study is laying out just what career choices could be setting you up for depression. This research, it was published by the American Medical Association, found careers in healthcare and food service have the highest number of diagnosed depression. Manual labor jobs tended to have lower rates. The study also found female workers have double the rates of diagnosed depression compared to male workers. Well, so you saw it live right here on News 6. The stars of stage come together for the 78th annual Tony Awards.
Yeah, and that included a little ode to one of the biggest shows ever.
I'm gonna get a scholarship to King's College.
Sing it! Yeah. The original cast of Hamilton reunited on stage to celebrate the show's 10th anniversary. The biggest winner of the night was Maybe Happy Ending, which took home 6 Tonys, including the coveted Best Musical. Succession star Sarah Snook won for Best Leading Actress in a Play for her portrayal of, get this, 26 different characters in The Picture of Dorian Gray. Wow.
So she did get a happy ending with that trophy.
Julie.
With the Tony.
Oh, nice. We love it. Here's what you're stepping out the door to this morning. 76 degrees right now on our Launch Credit Union camera in Port Canaveral. It is 75 degrees in Orlando, 77 in the Villages. We go to a high of 95. It will feel like the triple digits. Expect some afternoon showers and storms. Rain chances go up tomorrow.
Drive times right now pretty good out there across Central Florida, still sitting in the green. If you're headed in the westbound direction, you're going to run into a little bit of slowdown out by Lake Mary, but if you're headed towards the downtown area, things are good.
Yeah, drive safe so you can have a happy
just a great day.
Yeah,
just have a great day.
There you go. Well, thanks, Steve, and thank you for joining us. We break news on clickorlando.com.
You can also find all of our stories on our new 6 Plus app for your TV.
Have a great day. We'll see you
I can't
later.
with you guys.
I'm done. I'm retiring right now.